Hey you guys, it's me, Brandeline Johnson. I am a spiritual life and business coach, psychic medium, author, and educator. And on this video, I'm going to be sharing some information about your kids, your teenagers, awakening children. And interestingly enough, it's happening more and more. And with my psychic mediumship hat on, I get a lot of people reaching out to me. It's mostly girls, teenage girls that are starting to go through their puberty. I get a lot of people messaging me where their kids are starting to hear voices, and the parents are scared to take them to the medical community because they're afraid that they're just gonna be put on medication or taken away or labeled as crazy. And so a lot of parents reach out to me to just kind of diagnose the thing and see if it's a spiritual symptom and not a medical symptom, and a lot of times it is. And so that's kind of the reason why I'm making this video. And I'm also making this video because my daughter herself experienced so many of these spiritual awakening symptoms when she was younger, and that was way before I realized what was going on. Now my daughter's awesome. She's a psychic medium and she's amazing at animal communication, and she's 23 now. But back in the day, I didn't understand why she was having such a hard time going to school. I just assumed she's a teenager, she's going to school, maybe she's getting bullied, maybe she's getting picked on. But she was having symptoms about, she was having massive anxiety right before school. And she would get to school, we would get her to school, she would get out of the car, everything would be fine. An hour later, I'd get a call from the nurse. Carissa, my daughter, would be throwing up. And so these are some of the symptoms that the energy becomes so overwhelming for these kids when they're in school that they can start having symptoms like throwing up or having a panic attack or making up reasons why they feel sick and wanting to come home. Then when they come home, everything's fine, and then it kind of escalates, because once you start having these panic attacks, then you're almost anticipating having them. And what is this from? Why is this happening? It's because they're so sensitive to the energies around them. You got to think of yourself as an adult. You probably, if you're going through the spiritual awakening, or if you're just sensitive, you probably can agree that it's kind of uncomfortable to go to a large public place. You might start feeling shortness of breath when you walk into Walmart. You might feel this wave of energy coming at you when you walk into like a really crowded place. So it only makes sense that your kids are feeling the same way. And when they don't know how to manage their energy, and they don't know what's happening, the first thing that you start going into is anxiety. It's your physical body is having sensations, and there's no definition for why it should feel that way. So immediately your brain starts thinking something's wrong, and something's wrong with me, and you go into panic mode. So some of the symptoms that spiritual awakening kids are having are obviously the anxiety, the panic attack, the getting sick while they're at school, or telling this nurse that they're sick just to be able to come home to their safety zone, right? Also, bipolar. Are some of your kids being diagnosed bipolar? These are waves of energy, and I explained that on some other videos, so I don't really want to get into this. But if you're not following me, go ahead and follow me, Brandeline Johnson, on YouTube, and join our community on Facebook, Craving Consciousness Community. I also teach a development class. It's called Awaken, and you find that on my website, brandeline.com/awaken. A lot of parents actually come to me to learn how to develop psychic and mediumship abilities, just so they can get a handle and help their kids grow through this, right? So somebody says, why are the kids waking up sooner? Because I put a post in our group. Why are the kids waking up sooner? Does that mean something big is happening? Something big has been happening. We're awakening. We're shifting into a higher consciousness. So I call them waves. So you're a wave, right? And then here comes the next wave, and the next wave, and the next wave. And some of the other symptoms too for highly sensitive people are autism, right? That's a really touchy subject. It can be caused from different things, but a lot of these kids that come out and they're nonverbal, they're actually operating on more of the intuitive side versus the logical side of their brain. And so you can communicate more with them by using your psychic communication abilities, and also through sound and colors. So they're communicating on the intuitive side through sound and colors and numbers and feelings and being able just to express how you feel to them, and then they can express back. It's almost kind of like animal communication. That's how animals communicate, because they obviously don't talk English to you. So it's a similar type of thing. So autism, bipolar, anxiety, depression, because sometimes your energy's high and sometimes you pick up on frequencies. Okay, because I mean, we got to admit, there's a large population of ghosts out there, right? I mean, this may sound corny or woo woo, but you know, once you take off your meat suit, you're still an energy, and some energies don't cross over, some do cross over, but they're still always with their loved ones. So that's why some of us adults or even children feel overwhelmed when we go into public places, because your past loved ones are with them. So you're not only picking up on the energy of alive people, you're picking up on the energy of dead people. And depression kind of comes in when you're more of a medium and you're picking up on the energy of a dead person that is really low, that maybe followed them home from school. Ask yourself this, parents, you know, do your kids come home from school and they're just in a real funk, right? Or does activity happen more around your house? You know, more sounds, or you know, you just feel creeped out in a certain room. Is this happening more when your kids come home and they're having a bad mood, right? Some of the other symptoms that I put in our group, Craving Consciousness Community, let me go look really quick. And there was a couple questions that I want to address here. Darn, it's not showing me the... Come on there. That's not going to show it to me. So... you know, getting sick, not wanting to go to school. Not wanting to go to school is a huge thing. And really, here's the deal too, parents. You're their parent. So they might not be communicating with you everything because they're scared that you're going to judge them or get mad at them. So they might not be telling you everything that they're experiencing because they don't want their own parent to think they're nuts, you know? So a lot of the people that are communicating in our group are saying, you know, so what do they do about it? That was the big question. So what do they do about it? Number one, I want to say that a lot of people's experience is unique to their own self. So reaching out to someone like myself, brandaline.com is my website, and getting like a consultation to help your specific symptoms, that would be probably the best thing. But just to help you generally on this video, you need to know that you're in charge of your human experience and that all of these invisible energies are at your command. So if it's something that's following you home, or a past loved one, too much past loved one energy, you could tell them, leave me alone. Don't come into my house. You can say what you want. We call these boundaries. Create these boundaries. Tell them, I don't want to hear the voices. I've had so many people, especially the teenage girls, reach out and be like, Mom, I'm hearing voices and they're yelling at me and they won't let me sleep and they won't leave me alone at school. Tell them to stop, and don't be like, please, voices, stop. No, you need it. Even if you have to drop the F-bomb, let your kid drop the F-bomb for this. Leave me the fuck alone. This is my experience. I want to go to school. I want to be able to sleep. So that's some of the things, is for you to really step into your power, but also kind of shielding yourself before you go to school or go to these public places. I talk all about this, especially when we're talking about empaths or highly sensitive people. Imagine shielding yourself. Your body is not even a dense body. You're made of atoms and all these things floating around, and you just kind of look dense, right? So, but you have your energy, so you could command an energy shield around you. I promise it will help. These are just a couple simple tips for you guys. So number one, command your experience. Know that you're the boss. Know that if we are one, then you are one with your creator. And that means that you have a bright light shining, and anything lower than your vibration has to listen to you. Are they going to mess with you and break your rules once in a while? Yeah. But instead of being scared, like I used to call myself the scared medium when I first developed, which is hilarious. But as I've grown through all this and have experienced so much darkness, you're the boss. You're the boss. And it's amazing. Once you can grasp your head around that, you are the boss of your human experience. So that's what you need to do about it. Some of the other things that kids are experiencing now, some of you guys may be watching this that don't have teenagers, but you have like a 4-year-old, you know, they're seeing their imaginary friends. Those are usually your spirit guides. Their spirit guides or one of their siblings from a past life, etc., etc. You guys, if you're watching this, we're going through an awakening. Please don't tell your kids that it's their imagination. Please just for a minute believe what your kids are saying to you, no matter what, how crazy it sounds, and believe that it might be a spiritual experience. Okay? The veil is getting thinner and thinner. We are becoming more sensitive as the years go on. And so that's why kids are experiencing it now. You might be in your 30s, 25, 35, 45, 55, and you're going through a spiritual awakening, but the kids are coming through already awake and they're not falling back asleep. So I hope this video helps you guys. Reach out, come to our group, Craving Consciousness Community on Facebook. Check out the Awaken program on my website, brandeline.com. And reach out for a consultation if you need more help.